Hey everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. In today's episode, we're actually joining the same team as we were playing with in the last video, the Li Ming video. And we're going to be busting out a different mage today, and that mage is going to be Jaina. So yeah, these guys were just a random team. I think Elfesteem, Balthras, and Chris were in a team together, I think, for the Li Ming game. And then Nakuma and myself were soloing, and then they'll I think Chris sort of organized for everyone to join together. If I'm right about this, I think I am. He arranged for us all to join together as a 5-man team because we had so much fun in that Li Ming game. So yeah, here we go. We're gonna jump in again, and Towers of Doom this time. And I'm thinking, you know what? I wanted to play Jaina for you guys. It's one of the heroes you guys have requested that I play. I've also got several requests for the Lost Vikings, so I am working on that. It's just difficult to get gameplay for them, because I personally would probably only play Vikings on like Cursed Hollow and Garden of Terror. They work on other maps, but I'm just not as much of a fan on them on other maps, so it tends to be like, can I get a good draft for them on those particular maps? More difficult to get. But anyway, Jaina is going to be the one for this game. The enemy team leads off with the first pick, Li Ming. Always a solid choice. This was before the last patch, so Li Ming still has Calamity that works and everything. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember fully. We'll find out in the game. I think... No, sorry, of course, incorrect. This is the new Li Ming. So still a decent choice for the first pick. She's very good on Towers of Doom, but she does not have the Calamity damage to minions or mercs anymore. We lead off with Gul'dan and Thrall, two really good picks as well, and the enemy team actually grabs ETC, so pretty damn good draft. But yeah, Jaina, let's talk about her. How does she fit in the draft? What is she like as a hero? Then we'll talk about her best maps. And then, of course, getting into the game, we'll start talking about her gameplay, the talent choices, and how I approach this particular game. This is actually a pretty decent sign for us. They lead off, or they grab a Lily. Now, potentially, this could be their main healer. They could also... I think Lily works best in a double support role. Basically, you build her for damage. You build all into her W. You can pick up either heroic, really. But then she does a ton of damage. People really don't expect how much damage she does. So she does plenty of damage, and also a nice bit of sustained healing too. So she can be really good at that. Now, you don't see that very often, so I'm not sure if that's what they're going to do. But if she is a solo healer Lily, this is a good shot for us, because what does Jaina do? Well, Jaina, she is a mage, and she is a burst mage. Her burst damage is incredibly high. If you've ever been hit by the full Jaina combo, you know just how much it hurts. It absolutely tears through people. She's very high burst damage, and she brings good zone control. She's excellent in choke points. But her weaknesses then are that she's quite mana hungry. Her cooldowns are very long. She's got no mobility, really. So I think Jaina actually is one of the best designed heroes in the game. I think she's absolutely fantastic. She's got absolutely fantastic talents as well. We're going to be telling you all about that in this particular game. But yeah, she's... For quite a while now, they gave her a little rework a while ago. I don't know if you remember, where they made Blizzard have an extra wave of like... blizzardness, so there's that. But yeah, since then, especially since then, she's been a very competitive hero in terms of Hero League anyway, of being very strong but never OP. And I think the big thing with Jaina is that while she has very clear strengths, she also has got very clear weaknesses, and she's absolutely a hero that you can play around, and she's absolutely a hero that does require skill. It does require you to aim your spells right, to think about them, because their placement matters, and they've got long cooldowns, so using them well really does matter. But then it's something the enemy team can also play around. You can dodge her spells, you can get out of the way. If you're aware of that, you can punish her for her positioning. I think she's really, really well designed in that sort of sense. So that even though she's got a really good win rate, and she does have a really good win rate right now, for the overall statistics, she is 11th in terms of heroes overall for all leagues. If we look for just Master League alone, she's actually the 5th highest win rate hero, which is really, really good. And she's actually been up there pretty consistently for a while now. So definitely a very well performing hero. but somewhat underestimated. To mention the map picks before we go on, as you'd expect from someone with a win rate that high, she's actually very strong on a large number of maps. Her best map actually appears to probably be Blackheart's Bay, which is pretty interesting. She's also very good on Sky Temple, Warhead Junction, Cursed Hollow, Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Brax's Holdout as well. She's also pretty good on Battlefield of Eternity. Then she's weaker, it seems, on Garden of Terror, Infernal Shrines, Dragonshire, and actually at Master League, Towers of Doom is her worst map, which is where I picked her. I think the logic behind all of this is that, yeah, Towers of Doom isn't a great map for her, but it should give you a bit of an insight anyway. But yeah, I think that Jaina, again, looking at her strengths, she has very powerful damage, very powerful team fight and zone control. So she's good on maps that have bigger team fights. She's good on maps with choke points. However, she's not that good on maps where you're going to be running out of mana. Like very maps that can go on for a long time. So I think Cursed Hollow versus Towers of Doom is pretty interesting. We're not going to be that strong on Towers of Doom normally, where we tend to have these very long, drawn out fights. We're going to run out of mana and stop being effective. Whereas on Cursed Hollow, I think more so, there's a bit more of a choke point. Because you're only fighting over one tribute, you can kind of exploit her a little bit more there, which is why I think she does better. Or maybe on the boss fights as well, a bit stronger. Not entirely sure, actually, but that's sort of the logic I've come up with. I think the biggest deal in terms of maps is that Tomb of the Spider Queen and Infernal Shrines are the ones that she's picked on most often, it seems. Let me just check. That's overall. Let me check for Master as well. Yeah, Tomb of the Spider Queen and Infernal Shrines she's picked on quite often. But maybe a little bit of a misconception there in terms of Infernal Shrines, at least, where she's very popular. I think people feel like, okay, well, you know, you got all those monsters built up in the shrines, her AoE damage is going to be really good. I actually disagree, because her cooldowns are so long. It's, you know, if you use your cooldowns to kill the monsters on Infernal Shrines, you're not going to have those for actually team fighting. Now, it's great if you do manage to hit multiple heroes on top of the monsters as well, and kind of get lots of value there, but that's a pretty unusual thing to happen. I think you do run out of mana a little bit, so she can be a little bit weaker on those maps, I think. But yeah, try pick her on maps. Again, like I said, Blackheart's Bay, Warhead Junction, to the Spider Queen, Sky Temple. Where your wave here is going to be pretty good. There might be a few choke points or big fights, boss fights in particular. I think she's probably quite strong around, catching people in those areas with her AoE spells. And yeah, you're going to have a good time. Greymane, on the other hand, not having a good time. And let's talk about Jaina's playstyle and what sort of things you're going to pick up for her in terms of talents. So, of course, the key thing about Jaina is her trait. That is the defining thing about Jaina. What it does is, whenever you hit an enemy with an ability, you slow them down by 25% for 4 seconds. It's fantastic. It's a really good trait. Additionally, as you see right there, if you hit enemies who have your trait on them, they're going to take 50% bonus damage from your abilities. So, in a couple of ways, this basically works into it in a couple of ways. Well, number one is that it's just a really useful thing that all of your abilities apply slow. I'd say Jaina, in comparison to some of the other mages, like, let's say, for example, in comparison to Li Ming, yeah, what's the difference? Well, Li Ming will do more damage than Jaina will in the game. It's just going to happen because Jaina, all of her stuff slows enemies by 25%. That's a really useful thing. In order to balance that out, obviously Blizzard makes her do a little bit less damage than the other mages would. It's just a balance thing. So you're trading up some of your potential damage in terms of your pick for a whole lot of utility. That is slowing enemy heroes down. And you can imagine multiple heroes that are going to be in a bit of a tough spot with this. For example, the enemy team's Greymane, maybe not the best choice because he is going to have to fight into our team while being slowed down 25%. It's really going to make his life quite miserable, which I'm more than happy to do, by the way. More than happy to do. That's kind of the thing there. Also, because you're doing that bonus damage, you very much want to combo your abilities together as much as possible in order to get that 50% bonus. That's a huge amount of bonus damage. You really want to get that. So it becomes a very big deal that you combo your stuff together correctly, placing your Blizzard in an intelligent position where it is going to hopefully hit, maybe at least one, if not two, and probably not 3 waves, but hopefully at least 2, so that you want to hit people a little bit. You also want to kind of zone them out, get them in a bit of a rough spot. You can see here, lead off with my E, then fire off a Q. That's going to be doing to do with the talents. Unfortunately, miss another Q. Throw down the W then to clear out that wave. Actually, we see this Lily is coming back in. She's going to regret that. Myself and Gul'dan, huge damage. She gets exploded. Johanna was even rotating around the other side to try to finish her off if needs be. But between myself and Gul'dan, more than enough damage. Like I said, Gul'dan is not a bad pick with Jaina. Jaina is burst damage. So you do probably want some more sustained damage with her. Actually, one hero that combos very well with her is Zeratul. That's where we see her actually played in the pro scene. She always crops up in these tournaments. The Jaina Zeratul combo. Basically, Zeratul catches a few people in his Void Prison. Jaina catches them with her Ring of Frost heroic, which we will be seeing soon in this game. And then follows up with a bunch of AoE damage, and they basically just explode 1 or 2 or even 3 heroes that get caught in that Void Prison, and then are able to turn the fight like that. Very difficult to counterplay if the Jaina and the Zeratul play it correctly. That's the rough theory there. You can see, for example, throwing down that Blizzard on top of the enemy's gate, getting between Greymane and his exit path, even catching that Lily and doing some pretty good damage to her. And yeah, we win that team fight. Level 9 to level 7, 36 points to 24. This game is going pretty well so far. No complaints here. So the talents I've picked so far, as we reach level 10 here, I picked up Winter's Reach at level 1, increasing the range of Frostbolt by 30%. At level 4, I actually picked up a talent specially for this game. I picked up Frost Armor. Enemies that attack us are chilled. Basically applies our trait for free, and then every 10 seconds we block 50% basic damage. I thought that would just be a really nice way to protect myself from Greymane, from Kharazim, even from ETC, just that little bit. Make it difficult for them to hit us, basically. Now the block, it's a pretty weak block, honestly. Every 10 seconds, only 50% off. It's pretty weak. I could even see them maybe even buffing that slightly at some stage in the future to like a 75% block every 10 seconds. 'Cause like every 10 seconds, it's a long time. But the main thing you want to pick this up for is to just really dissuade these melee heroes from getting in on top of you and basic attacking you and setting you up. Level 7, I went for Ice Lance. Whenever our Frostbolt, our Q, hits a chilled target, it reduces the cooldown by 2 seconds. So it goes from a 4-second cooldown to a 2-second cooldown, and we regain 10 mana. This is going to help us spam those out. And also bear in mind, this will combo very well with our trait. Our trait normally lasts 4 seconds. And Frostbolt normally has a 4-second cooldown, which means, unfortunately, for the most part, you will not be able to just, chain Frostbolts and then like chain your trait. I think it would probably work if you caught them with the first Frostbolt at like max range and then the second one at short range. The sort of the travel time would cancel it out and you would land it. But for the most part, it's not going to work. Here we go. Big Ring of Frost. That's Ring of Frost heroic. As you can see, it has a charge time. It hits people in a ring and does a big chunk of damage and roots them in. And helps you set up the rest of your abilities very nicely as well. Thrall coming in with the good Earthquake too. The rest of our team has arrived. Gul'dan in here now and is going to start wrecking face with the damage he can put out. We catch Lily with the slow as she's running away. Turn around onto the Greymane as well, and we pick him up with the kill. Li-Ming getting some nice poke. And ooh, nice work by the Gul'dan, actually eventually picking off the Lily to the bottom as well. We're going to try chase off this Li-Ming. She's doing a pretty good job with her poke. Actually, ETC arriving as well, but in a huge Crystal Aegis from Oriel. That was actually excellent. We pick off the Lily, and nice, very well played by the Oriel there with the Crystal Aegis, then following up with her Detainment Strike onto ETC, knocking him back, stunning him, I believe, against the altar right there. And she survives with a tiny sliver of health, and we walk away with the altar and a couple of kills to our name. Not too bad. Gonna throw down the Blizzard for some wave clear and his Hearthstone away. Go back, get some mana. So yeah, the Ice Lance talent at level 7, to finish off that thought, it does let you just kind of combo and maintain your trait, just constantly throwing out those E's, and gives you nice sustained damage with some mana sustain as well. Pretty useful in general. But like I said before, I feel like there's a ton of different talents that are fantastic for Jaina. I think she's got one of the best talent trees. Lots of different ones are great. Pretty much, in fact, I'm going to actually say right now, I think every single one of Jaina's talents is great. Pretty much for the most part. I don't think the Ring of Frost upgrade level 20 is that good, but I think actually everything else is really, really good. Everything else is really good. and they all do different things. So for example, at level 1, you can also you can pick up Conjurer's Pursuit, so a mana regen one, which is not bad on maps where you're going to get a lot of regen globes. Apart from that, I'd say it's not super appealing to me personally, but it's okay. Pretty good Ring of Frost here once again. We do unfortunately proc the ring, the palm on Lily, but she should go down, finish her off with some damage, and the damage will go down and some backup from the oil as well, so pretty nice. But yeah, the Conjurer's Pursuit can be pretty decent. I tend to stray away though, if I can. You can also upgrade her trait to make it last longer, or to chill a bit more and slow them down more. Both options very good. At level 4, I think you got some pretty big choices here actually. Pretty big choices at level 4. I went for Frost Armor in this game, which is a good way to protect yourself from sort of dive and basic attack type heroes. And more ways to proc your chill, and therefore more ways to, you know, get that bonus frostbite damage as well. This Greymane definitely overextending right there, overconfident. Li Ming does just barely escape. Lucky here. Throwing down that blizzard just to try to zone out this Lily. Look, we're making her have to run a really long way to get back. We threw that down right in the spot where she would want to run through. Even though the blizzard itself did no damage, the zoning of that blizzard meant that Lily had to run the long way around, which gave our team plenty of time to pick up the kill on her. Some of the thought processes you have to go through when playing Jaina in terms of the placement. Level 4, I love Arcane Intellect level 4, I really, really do. So whenever you do damage to a chill target, it's going to give you mana back. It gives you a lot of mana sustain, so you can just like basic attack, chill targets, and it'll give you 5 mana back for every basic attack. When you hit them with an ability, it'll return 20. I love to combo this then, obviously, with the Ice Lance at level 7. Ice Lance at level 7, it's kind of my personal preference, that's the one I always pick up, but the other level 7 options are both very, very good as well. But I do love, for example, Ice Lance with Arcane Intellect. Really nice. So, you know, you get a chill on someone, like you hit something with your E, get it chilled, then you start firing Qs into it. Then you get each Frostbolt costs 20 mana. This is another big Ring of Frost opportunity. We actually catch 3 heroes. We had really good Ring of Frost in this game. We got very lucky with those. Unfortunately, this fight is not going our way. With Gul'dan gone, who is like our main sustained source of damage, our teammates are dying, trying to mount up and get out of there. Unfortunately, we do get caught by the ETC stage dive. Aimed the Q with ETC missed, but he do hit the Lily, so we'll take that. And we lost 4 heroes for nothing there. Unfortunately, even with the 3-man Ring of Frost, not quite enough to finish off, to pick up those kills and finish that off. But yeah, to finish that thought as well. Arcane Intellect, you hit them with your Q, you get 20 mana back. Hit them with the Ice Lance talent, you get 10 mana back. So you get 30 mana back for a 30 mana spell, and you're just maintaining that chill with basic attacks. Very nice, actually, on Battlefield of Eternity. You can just maintain this mana sting. You actually get more mana back just spamming Qs into the Immortal with it chilled and hitting it with basic attacks. You'll generate mana, which is pretty useful. And yeah, it's just a nice way to continue on doing what you're doing. I think at the moment it's like full Q talents are the most popular thing. But I would actually disagree and encourage you to think bigger and better with Jaina and really mix up your talents to fit what is needed in a particular game. Okay, do I need more mana sustain? I'll grab Arcane Intellect. You can see, for example, in this game, not picking up Arcane Intellect, we got some mana issues, which do need some management. You will run out of mana with Jaina. That's just the way it is. What else do you want to... And basically, yeah, just pick and choose to fit what's good. Not a good Ring of Frost this time around. We missed one, unfortunately. We've had good luck so far, or good aim so far, I suppose you might say. Good teamwork to set it up. Mistakes from the enemy team? I don't know. Whatever way you want to phrase it. But our luck has run out. Here we go. Unfortunately, Karazim's luck has run out as well. We take him out. That was our level 13, by the way, picked up Icy Veins. We can activate it on the number 1 key, which will reduce our cooldowns. You can see it here at the moment. Our cooldown's ticking down incredibly quickly. This gives you a lot of damage that people don't expect and really helps you burst it out and just enhances the value of all your other abilities right here. I chase down this Li Ming, actually find her on top of me. I should have actually stayed on top for more, walk into that orb, which is a huge mistake, and then trying to juke around those magic missiles, but with the fog of war and everything, make a mistake and go down. Just outplayed by the Li Ming, unfortunately, in a number of ways. Walking into her, well, running away from her, walking into the orb, and then walking into the magic missiles. There's a few mistakes for me there. If we had just stuck in her face from the start, I think we would have picked her off, but oh well, lesson learned. Lesson learned. But yeah, Icy Veins at level 13. Very, very nice. Makes your abilities recharge 3 times as fast and halves their mana cost for 5 seconds. So really hugely amps up your damage output. And also makes it difficult for people to play around Jaina because they're not used to playing like 3 times faster cooldowns. That's pretty difficult to play around, you know? So yeah, that's a pretty great talent for Jaina. My personal favorite by a long shot. And then level 16 Northern Exposure. When we hit people with our Cone of Cold, it makes them vulnerable for 2 seconds. Just really helps target and focus down enemies. So I think it's a really good one. Again, like I said, I think though the other talents in these tiers are also very strong. They're just my personal favorite. You can see the stats. We did good damage, but not the top damage by any means. That's to be expected. Gul'dan should do more than us. And here's the talent build, in case you're wondering what that is. There it is right there. To read those out, Winter's Reach, Frost Armor, Ice Lance, Ring of Frost, Icy Veins, and Northern Exposure. To mention just heroics as well, and go over a couple of final points about Jaina as we go through a bit of a replay here. Ring of Frost, 80-second cooldown. Takes 1.5 seconds to arm the ring. It doesn't explode for 1.5 seconds. And there is, of course, you know, the sound playing. There is the visual cue. So your enemy does have plenty of time to dodge it if they can. But after it activates, it hits like a truck. It hits really, really hard. And then is a 3-second route. Additionally, the ring itself will stick around for 3 seconds and will chill anyone who touches it. Yeah, it's very important if you're playing against Jaina to try to avoid that ring at all costs. It will wreck your face if you get hit by it. Which I think it is probably, I think it's her hardest hitting ability by a good chunk. I think it is substantially her hardest hitting ability. So I suppose ideally you'd want to have your targets maybe, like if you could get a Cone of Cold through them and then hit them with the Ring of Frost. I mean, that would be the ideal thing, right? Especially with the level 16 Northern Exposure making them vulnerable. It would absolutely explode them. Now, that is kind of difficult to do. I think with Ring of Frost, what you want to do... You saw me land, I think, was that two or three really good ones in this game and then miss one completely. It's generally, you want to land it in a sort of situation where your enemy team is a bit distracted. You know, they're a bit focused on other things, or they're trying to engage themselves, or they're locked down by CC from your team. For example, Earthquake from Thrall in this game would be a pretty nice setup, you know, that slow, really making it hard for them to dodge. And then you want to catch them a bit unawares. That's when it's going to be best. If you catch the enemy team unawares or in a position where they really cannot dodge, get that Ring of Frost down, and then it can really, it just lines up the rest of your abilities. It's huge kill potential. It's a massive team fighting heroic. And I think that is a huge part of why she is so strong on these maps where, you know, a big team fight win can really, really swing it in your favor. You know, Blackheart's Bay, Warhead Junction, Sky Temple, Cursed Hollow. She tends to do well on these big team fighting maps where Ring of Frost can just wreak havoc. Now, that being said, I do think Summon Water Elemental is really strong as well. In fact, I probably use Summon Water Elemental more than Ring of Frost. I've been trying Ring of Frost though recently. The reason I like Summon Water Elemental is that it's consistent. You cannot miss it. It summons a Water Elemental for 20 seconds, which is going to help you out. And it just does this consistent sustained damage, and you can control it, you can move it around, and its attacks chill the target. So this one actually combos really well with Ice Lance at level 7. I think Ice Lance really opens you up to either heroic very well, because with Ice Lance, which again reduces the cooldown of your Frostbolt, your Q by 2 seconds, it gives you some mana back whenever you hit a chill target. You can really like single target focus down heroes with the Summon Water Elemental. Basically opens you up. You can just, you know, stick your Water Elemental on someone, start firing Frostbolts at them. You don't have to worry about chilling them in advance with your Blizzard or your Cone of Cold or anything. Or yeah, you can just have Water Elemental, guarantee that they're going to be chilled, which guarantees you're going to get value out of the Ice Lance talent. And you can do actually quite a bit of sustained sort of damage and focus people down. It's quite nice. Ring of Frost, though, probably the bigger impact heroic overall, though much, much more difficult to use. Level 20 is pretty interesting, too. Got good options here. Like I said, I don't think the Ring of Frost upgrade is any good. However, the Water Elemental upgrade is amazing. It's amazing. It increases the cast range of Water Elemental by 50%. Not that useful. The big deal, though, is that your Water Elemental will now cast all of your abilities as well for half damage. So it's, in a way, kind of like a 50% damage increase to Jaina, which is kind of insane. The one thing to note, it's called Wintermute. The one thing to note about it is that it doesn't cast Blizzard until after your Blizzard has expired. So yeah, it's not actually that good at casting Blizzard. But in terms of Cone of Cold, it's amazing. Just having your Water Elemental also cast Cone of Cold and then, you know, do another AoE slow, AoE chill, proccing bonus damage and everything. Fantastic. And then it's firing out all these ice lances as well. Fantastic. People really don't know how to handle it. It's an amazing level 20. You got Arcane Power, gives you mana back, increased ability power, not bad. And then Improved Ice Block is probably your go-to if you pick up Ring of Frost, which you can just pop yourself in stasis. This is a nice way to protect yourself because, like I said, you are pretty vulnerable. But yeah, I mean, guys, that's Jaina. It was quite fun for me, I have to say, to record this video. I just haven't been playing Jaina much recently. She's like my second most played hero of all time. But a lot of that was from a long time ago. I haven't really played her that much recently. But she's a ton of fun. She's really, really great. And very, very powerful at the moment, and underrated as well. She doesn't see much play in terms of pro play, which I think also contributes to the fact that she doesn't see much play. But I think like right now is pretty much the ideal time to play her. I mean, Zeratul is amazingly strong right now as well. Of course, Zeratul is also unpopular and very difficult to play. But hey, if you do get in a game with a really good Zeratul player and you're on a good Jaina map, go nuts. You know, that VP into Ring of Frost combo is insane. I'd say particularly, you probably mostly want to do that with a friend that you can communicate over voice. So you can like cancel VP early to land the Ring of Frost or whatever you need to do. But the voice communication will really help you doing that. But it's a ton of fun, like a duo Q combo, Zeratul Jaina, do it. It's amazing. But yeah, she's really, really nice. And like I said, really do mix up your talent build as needed to fit the needs of the game. Personally, like I said, I tend to always go for Ice Lance at level 7. My favorite by far. I always pick up Icy Veins at 13, or nearly always pick up Icy Veins at 13. And then I tend to change up my level 4 the most. That's really going to define my play. I feel that really defines your playstyle maybe the most is, okay, do I pick up Arcane Intellect and then become this much more sustained damage dealer, just having a lot more mana to play with, which really opens up your play around the map. Really good on maps where you tend to be out and playing over objectives for a long time. Or Frost Armor, do I want to like kind of punish enemy basic attackers, enemy sort of melee heroes more, or then Frost Shards, do I want to be this more of a long range kind of firing and frost pulse kind of build? It's really up to you. So our playstyle does change subtly, and all of these are good options. You can really customize your Jaina to the needs of the particular game. I'd also recommend, people nearly always pick Northern Exposure at level 16, and it's really good. I'd actually recommend giving the other ones a spin too, because they're very strong as well. You know, Numbing Blast, ruining targets with Cone of Cold for 1 second, that can be brutal. That can really help, you know, shut down enemy teams. It depends exactly what your comp is as well. But yeah, have some fun. Try out Water Elemental as well, Wintermute, and you'll have a blast. And that is Jaina. Very clear strengths, very clear weaknesses. You're not going to do top damage, probably, but you are going to do quite a lot of damage, and most importantly, your damage, much like I'd say a Kerrigan or a Zeratul, you know, they're not going to top the damage meters by any means, if everyone's playing their heroes at a good level, right? But what you will do is really help secure kills. You bring a ton of utility to the team fight. And it's like, yeah, you're not going to do all this. You're not going to do as much damage as a Gul'dan or a Li Ming, but your damage should be very burst focused, very focused into actually getting kills in the team fight, and that's where the real strength of these types of heroes lies. Yeah, Jaina. Give it a thumbs up, guys, if you liked it. If you like Jaina, do give her a spin. She is underrated, and she is very strong. I hope you enjoyed. I'm certainly looking forward to playing more Jaina. Nothing more satisfying than landing a big, juicy Ring of Frost and just watching those health bars just boom, evaporate in a second. Or it's more like it's just explode. It's in this massive icy explosion. They're just gone. It's awesome. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more of her myself. I hope you guys will too. I'll see you all next time for more Heroes of the Storm. Bye bye.